Hey everyone, this is Once Bitten. Welcome to another battle report. This game is the first of three that I played last weekend. I put together a Beast Herds list using the most recent rules, and in building the list, just looks like so much fun to play. I'm playing the same guy that I played in my last couple battle reports, playing Vampire Counts. He's running a different list and actually swapped them up through the three games. My list stays the same. But yeah, I find this list super fun to play with. I had so much fun all three games. So this first one especially, I think both of us are just experimenting with these new lists and just kind of throwing models around and seeing what works. And it was super, super fun. My list actually has a fair amount of symmetry in it. I'm just showing you, it's kind of a monster mash where even my general is this Minotaur Warlord, and even he has... basically it's just a small monster. So this list lets me to play with all my toys that I spent so much time and love painting. So let's look at it. It's pretty much, I think, standard deployment. It could be it was slightly weird, like we couldn't be in one corner, but it didn't affect anything. Those two blue circles are the objectives, so I need to get to the circle right in front of his deployment zone on that hill. With a scoring unit. He needs to get into the woods with a scoring unit. Let's go through the list. Starting on his right, he's got a couple of Varkolaks, a big unit of ghouls. He's got a Necromancer on a cart with some zombies, 2 units of Wraiths in front of him. I think that's just really interesting. He kind of thinks of them as chaff, but they have a lot of uses, and they're pretty darn tough for chaff. Another unit of ghouls, then a unit of 5 Ghasts, and then if you look at the front row left, there's that's actually a vampire count with a great weapon and some other stuff that makes that unit just really formidable. And then he's got another Varkolak. On the right, I've got a unit of 5 Gargoyles. I've got Gortach number 1, some more Gargoyles, Gortach number 2. Then I've got a Chariot. That's a Soothsayer, Wizard Master. Next to him in the woods, you can barely see it on the left, that's my Minotaur Warlord. Then next to him is my Battle Standard Bearer, Beast Giant number 1, then Beast Giant number 2. So in this game, I had them bring beer barrels, and they've got this cool rule that if they end a friendly movement phase in woods, they can pick up a club for free, but they would lose the beer barrels. I kind of liked that flexibility. But I was thinking that you could use the beer barrels in combat as like a breath weapon, and I played the whole game thinking that until it mattered, and then my opponent pointed out that there's nowhere that it says that. So after this game I changed it to where I don't have the beer barrels. I brought the club because it's only like 10 points and I kind of like it. The club, by the way, makes giants auto hit, strength 5, no armor piercing, but auto hitting with a number of attacks they can get is pretty cool. They start off with 5 attacks. For every wound they take, they get an extra attack, and they have 8 wounds, so they can get up to 7 wounds. So you get these things near death, and they're coming at you with 12 hits with the club, 12 auto hits, strength 5. Anyway, Beast Guard's Vanguard up. It looks like that. I pretty much had dropped everything, so I knew I was going to go first, and I move up like that. On the right, in the middle, by the way, that's a water feature, and I'm just not worried about it. So I throw everything up like that. My general Minotaur Warlord, I'm just really not afraid of anything. I know those big units of poisoned, ghouls with poison are pretty scary. I'm not sure why I'm not more afraid of them, but apparently I wasn't. I just threw them up there. If you look on the right, I throw my Gargoyles up to try to bait some Varkolaks into charging them, so I can countercharge with my Gortachs on the right. On the left, his Varkolak can charge one of my Beast Giants, and I wasn't sure. I didn't really sit down to figure out who should win that. My opponent's really confident the Varkolak wins that contest, but I thought I would give it a go. It's a really bad position on my part, though, because if he does kill the one Beast Giant, I can't tell from here, but if he's in his flank, then he just overruns into the other one, which is just bad positioning. I'm not sure either one of us were super thrilled with how we played this game, to be honest. Yeah, we go to Vampires turn 1. If you look on the right, one of his Varkolaks charges my Gargoyles. If you look in the middle, he takes a unit of of Wraiths and puts it right in front of my general. And I'm not afraid of that a bit. If you look at the orange dice near my units, that means I have certain spells in play. I think my Minotaur Warlord has the initiative long range charge. And I did that, so basically throw something at me or else I'm going to charge anything I want to charge. And what I really want to do is charge those Wraiths and overrun into his general's unit. So where he put those guys currently, it kind of works for me, kind of doesn't. If I can charge far enough to get into that second unit of Wraiths, I might be happy with that. Anywho, yeah, there's on the right. Here on the left, his he actually had that unit on the left, those Ghasts with that vampire, tried to charge my general. I wasn't worried about it. I think my Warlord handles any of them pretty well. His vampire in there has this great weapon, so he's strength 7. My toughness is, I believe, 7. Maybe it's 6. Either way, and I've got a 4 regen. So he could be kind of scary, but I always get to swing first. I get rerolls to hit. Yeah, I wasn't too worried. He failed this charge, and I was really glad because I realized that I totally misplayed that. There on the right, his Varkolak kills 4 of my Gargoyles, and he decides just to pivot and take the charge for my Gortachs. So we go to Beast turn 2, and both of my Gortachs make the charge to the Varkolak. So 1-on-1, I think I win that, but 2-on-1, I know for certain that I win that. If you look in the middle, it looks like he took his unit. Yeah, that's right. He took his unit of Wraiths and moved them over my general and parked him in front of my Beast Giants on the left. And then my general, I don't think, took any wounds from all that. I'm super high toughness with the regen. So that allowed me to get an easy charge into the second unit of Wraiths, and then I should be able to overrun into his general's unit. I thought that was a major blunder. I love that. I'm thrilled. And if I can get 2 giants attacking that other unit of Wraiths, I'm actually not too worried about it because my giants get to swing first, and even with their ward save, I should do some wounds. And then we're going to go Simo, but I'm going to have, they've got the thing where for their Thunderstop or whatever it's called, they roll 3 dice and keep the larger of the 2 rolls, and I get 2 giants doing that. I think I'm going to do so many wounds that even with this ward save, if 1/3 of them go through, I'm going to just demolish this unit. So I was actually pretty happy with how all of that worked out. Meanwhile, my units come on the board. Remember, I'm trying to get to that hill on the left of this picture. If anything, these units come on too early. I wish you could choose to try to roll or not. So I wasn't sure where exactly to put them. I put one of them right behind his general's unit. I want that so that if my Minotaur Warlord does get in there, I'm not going to kill that unit in 1 round. I don't want him to be able to grow that unit any larger. So when I get in combat, I want my Wildhorns in their rear so that as I do wounds, he can't regrow them. And the other one is there. The other unit isn't really threatening either that ghoul unit or the Ghast unit. If I charge either one of them in the rear, I'm just going to flee and go off the board. So they're just going to sit there and use their throwing weapons just to try to plink a wound or 2 off those Ghasts. This is the far left. This picture is actually turned sideways. This is far left side of the board. I put this unit here to also go after that hill, but this is the equivalent of them coming in later in the game. It's going to take a while to get there, which is kind of what I want. My opponent has too many tough units around that hill right now for these guys to be anywhere close to it. So there's that. Action shots all the way around. Yeah, I've got magic attacks here. I'm pretty confident I'm going to do well. And I do, and I don't take any wounds in the process, overrun into his general's unit, and I'm thinking that's probably the game. Maybe not, you never know. Here on the right, I easily kill his Varkolak. I take 1 wound in return. The problem is I can't really I can't pivot them very much because they're so close to each other, so that's about all I could do. And over here, yeah, so again, I think what I'm doing here is, I think I've changed now, and I have a system where green dice are counting the wounds taken, which can be confusing because my opponent always does wounds remaining. We fix that in later games. So the giant on the left has actually taken 6 wounds, a lot more than I expected him to. You know what? Take all that back. Now 6 is some kind of buff he has on him. He's taken 2 wounds, and the other one has taken 1 wound. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that. We go to Vampire's turn 2. And now things are dicey because I've killed a Varkolak, and I'm in real good shape to kill his general, but he's got another vampire that's the generalship is just going to float to, and now he's going to take care of both my beast giants, and then I've got a Soothsayer and a BSB on chariots that aren't super mobile. This game is not nearly as much in hand as I thought it was. I put these gargoyles up here to redirect so they couldn't charge the flank of my Gortach, so they're taking one for the team. This just isn't good. There's just no way he's not going to kill the giant on the left, and then his Varkolak is going to overrun into the giant on the right. And next turn, this turn or next turn, they're both going to be dead. During the magic phase, he grows a zombie unit in front of this Wildhorn unit. And it's so funny when he did it. I was like, yeah, go ahead. I don't care. And I wasn't being stupid about it, but I kind of mention, I was like, yeah, I don't. After the magic phase is over, I was like, yeah, I don't really see what good that did him. But it does keep my Wildhorns from charging the flank of his general's unit, but I'm not sure that's really going to matter. We go to combat phase, and my general can't quite kill his general. Again, his dice is wounds remaining, and I got him down to 1 wound, and he's not dead. Darn it. So let's see, it looks like that. Yeah, I think, let me go back one. Yeah, beast turn 3. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so beast turn 3. So now I take my Gortach in the middle and use him to redirect that big ghoul unit. That's not a wonderful matchup for me, but I can't have that ghoul unit charging the flank of my general. There's just too much poison there. If you look on the left, I took my Battle Standard Bearer and charged him into his vampire unit with all the Ghasts, which seems like suicide. But here's the. I've got a 1-up rerollable armor save. If I get a challenge with his champion, I think what's going to happen is I'm not going to kill his champion, and he's going to have a hard time killing me, and we're just going to sit there for a long time. If he accepts with his vampire, he's got to risk that first turn where I come in with strength 5 impact hits. I could get lucky and kill him. So he's got a tough decision to make there. I think if he accepts this with his vampire, he's going to kill my guy fairly quickly. His strength 7 makes my 1-up rerollable go to a 5-up rerollable, and you just don't survive very long with that. So there's the redirect. There's the glorious heroic charge, the BSB going in there. Yeah, so my 4th unit of ambushing Wildhorns comes on. Did I mention that about my list? I've got 4 units of ambushing Wildhorns, and I bring them back behind my lines. Remember, I need to control that one hill. I need my opponent to not be in this hill. I don't know if these guys can influence that much, but that's what they're going for. During the magic phase, I was able to use the Evocation lore to take my spellcaster, move him just kind of out of harm's way. And then, sorry, this is turned sideways, but basically, my BSB gets in there, and my opponent issues a challenge with his champion, and I can only do 2 wounds to him. Or 1 wound. He has 2 wounds left, either way. I don't think I've taken any wounds, and now we're just going to sit there for a bit, which is just perfect for me. Because if I can bring anything else over here to help with this, like a Gortach on the flank or something, then I'm sitting pretty, and we'll see how that goes. I just need my guy to not kill his champion as much as possible. Meanwhile, my giant's dead, and you can see his Varkolak and his ghouls turned to the action. Over here, his general dies, and it looks like that. I think after this picture, I pivoted my general. So then, at the end of this, he had to take all his units had to take tests, and they took very few wounds. It was kind of a bummer. I was hoping they would all crumble. Meanwhile, over here, I charge in and just have a big pillow fight. Like, I know these Wildhorns aren't that tough, but come on, these are freaking zombies. And I think they did no wounds to me. I do maybe 1 wound to them, something like that. It's just lame. Sorry, this is turned sideways again. So we go to Vampires turn 3. If you look, what's normally left at the top of this picture, BSB's tying up his Ghast unit. But if you look on the right, he charges my Gortach in the front and the rear with that ghoul unit. And if you look at the bottom, his Varkolak charges my Gortach. Again, I don't mind that matchup. I think the Gortachs should win that. I mind this matchup a lot. That's horrible. If you want to know how to get rid of a Gortach, that's how you do it. Just a metric shit ton of poison. Meanwhile, if you look at the top here, his other Varkolak is charged, I think, the rear of my Wildhorn unit, which is not ideal, in case you're wondering. And then the stupid Wildhorn unit fighting these zombies. I can't believe the zombies are just... I mean, I actually did some wounds now. It's been a couple rounds of combat, but he's doing some wounds to me, and I just can't get through these guys. And I think most of their wounds came from their general causing them to crumble. Anyway, after combat here, yeah, he easily kills my giant and overruns and hits the flank of my warlord, which is not ideal. And then just bad position on my part. His Varkolak, my Wildhorns did not hold, and so he overran and hit the rear of my general. Now, any one of those, the Varkolak alone, I'm not worried a bit about, but if just throwing his stuff in there extra on top of all those ghouls, yeah, that's kind of scary. We'll go over here. This does 4 wounds to my Gortach. I do no wounds back. I felt that was crazy lucky on his part. And over here, the bad news is, I think I killed his champion. Darn it. I don't want to kill his champion, because now, even if he has a magic phase, now the challenge is over. He doesn't have to accept a challenge with his champion. Now he'll take it with his vampire, and his vampire is going to make short work of my battle standard bearer. So we go to beast turn 4. Yeah, if you look on the left, my Wildhorns come up. I don't know why they are where they are. I should have moved them to where they might be able to use the hill to hide from, let's say, the Ghasts unit that might turn around or something, or possibly from the Varkolak in the top middle. I've got 2 Wildhorn units near that hill. I just need one of them to be able to step on it at the end of the game. If you look at the bottom right, my Gargoyle from the first of the game rallied, which was nice. And then my Wildhorn unit charged the flank of his Varkolak. That could go either way. They're just trying to throw some static combat res. I just want to pop this guy and get my units free. And then my Soothsayer charges the flank of the school unit. I don't know why. I actually do know why, because I was just having fun with it. You know, yeah, let's see what he can do. And the answer is probably not much. And over here, I couldn't believe it. By I couldn't do any wounds to him, but he only did 1 wound to my battle standard bearer. I just got crazy lucky. That's not going to last. Here at the top middle, my stupid Wildhorns, that zombie unit, the zombie unit will not go away. They are frustrating me so bad. It's so bad. Oh, that unit. And then let's see over here. Yeah, so I think my Warlord and the Soothsayer both survived the fighting, but the problem is I lost combat just through combat res, and both units got ran down, which was, or both units broke. My Warlord got ran down. I think my Soothsayer survived. His Varkolak did not survive. The problem is that this is my turn, and now my opponent's going to have the next turn of charges, and so he takes his ghouls, charges the flank of my Gortach, and is probably going to kill him and overrun into the flank of my Wildhorns. None of that is ideal. If you look at the top middle, now his Varkolak is freed up. Now he's going to be able to help out his zombies that have been holding up my Wildhorns for freaking ever. Now they're going to win the fight. I couldn't believe it. There's that. That is not good for me. Yeah, so they kill the Gortach, and my Wildhorns fail their panic test and run away, and so overall it looks like that. His vampire finally kills my battle standard bearer. Yeah, the game's now crumbling for the beasties. And of course, I can't kill this darn zombie unit. Oh my gosh, guys. Beast up and kill something. These guys are so lame. We go to beast turn 5. Just on the top left, my Wildhorns charged his unit just because I was feeling, because I didn't care. I mean, I could have danced around, I could have played whatever, and that didn't sound like fun. At the bottom, my Wildhorns rallied, so I just reformed them wider so that, let's see, I've sacrificed my Gargoyles, he's going to charge him, then I could charge him back. And I'm just trying to delay it. I need that fight to take place as late in the game as possible. I'm hoping I can just hold him up before he gets to those forests, to that forest. there's that. There's just no possible way I win that, but, you know, why not? So my Soothsayer, who broke from combat, rallied, and then went to the magic phase, and I threw 3 dice at a spell and rolled 3 6s, and he died. Of course he did. Of course he did. This combat went about as planned. Oh my gosh, that zombie unit, I swear, that zombie unit is still alive. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I reformed to just offer my flank so I can at least face that Varkolak coming in. It only has 2 wounds left. Like, you never know what could happen. We go to Vampire's turn 5. He charges my Gargoyle. His Ghast unit charges my my Wildhorns, and of course I have to flee. Yeah, there's that. Of course, as Varkolak comes in, and these ghouls easily kill the Gargoyle. So again, I can't just sit there, else all he has to do is charge me or just walk up and touch those woods, and he gets the objective. So I'm going to charge him on my turn, and it'll be the turn 6. I just hope we can last 2 rounds of combat, holding him in place. We go to the combat over here, and the damn zombie survives. This unit, I swear, I'm ready to throw these guys across the room. He's that one zombie that he grew that I was saying, like, why'd you even do that? That wasn't worth anything. And that unit has been a thorn in my side the whole game. So Beast turn 6. My Wildhorn's at the top rally, but there's no way I can get that objective. My unit at the bottom charges his ghouls. There's really no way I'm going to win this, and I don't. He obliterates my unit. He steps in, and he just absolutely crushes me. So, oh, that game was so much fun. It just turned into such a train wreck for the beasties. Like I said, I'm not sure either one of us really thought we played a great game, and I'm not sure that was the point. We were having fun just learning our lists and playing with some things. But now we have 2 more games. He refines his list. I keep my list. I refine mine a tiny bit. It's kind of a long story. Basically, the giants take the club instead of the beer barrel, and then it allows me to put some items on my Soothsayer that I thought were there anyway, but I found out during the game they weren't because my points were screwed up. Blah, blah, blah. So my list basically stays the same. Anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.